I'm live. All right, hang on. Check. Well, of course, I can expect nobody necessarily would tune in because they didn't know I was going to go live, right? So obviously, if you didn't know it's going to go live, then just go live. But I just wanted to provide a quick update to assure everybody that I know that what happened a few weeks ago seemed very dark and depressing and concerning, but I'm all right. Just want to let everybody know that that I'm doing much better. And part of it is because I realize that sometimes you're in this toxic environment and you're in a toxic relationship with your immediate family, such as my Lisa Hoyan, I call her. Sometimes you just gotta say it as it is, just like my instructors tell me, just gotta say it as it is, just whatever it is that whatever it is, you just gotta just you, at the bottom line, everybody's human. You are still just Kevin, Matt, you know, Wendy, Paul. I don't know. Just throw whatever name out there you want. That is still who you are. As much as I respect that Jesus knows that I try my best to follow in his example, I also have stumbled. But what I'm saying is, um, I just want to talk about like some of these things that sometimes as Asians especially as Asians. This is specifically going out to other Asians, not just my mother. Well, not just my birth mother. That's clarification. Not just my birth mother, but all people, that who are Asian, like even people who who have led me along the way about like seminary. It's like what's your intention, for after you graduate? To be honest, I think like it's not a sin to have some sort of intention, like you want to do ministry, whatever it is, and you want to have some direction, right? Which is fine. But what I'm saying is like as it says in the scripture, there are many plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. If you look at Numbers 14, which is the main passage I'm kind of getting this exegesis from today, is that God may have wanted something, but because of man's hearts, of not fully, we cannot fully actualize God's plan. Sometimes the Lord's purpose prevails, but it is unfortunately subject to change. So what I wanted to do when I was in Tyndale before, that plan, it didn't play out. But does that mean that God does not have a calling for me to do ministry? Well, if that's what I believe, then I might as well not even be Christian because because like the scripture says that what I'm saying is you know maybe I wanted to, like, my plan was to graduate early 2013, whatever it is, but the latest 2013, and get married and all that, all that jazz. But let's look at the clock right now. People say, oh, how do you know you're actually meant to be called a ministry? Because that plan, the man-made plan, the Yan-made plan didn't work out. Well, I said, so the Yan-made plan didn't work out. Does it mean that God's purpose not prevail? you know, so so But anyways, what I was going to talk about is that it's also an analogy for something I gotta do for my course, disability studies in the Bible. Because sometimes disability is not always present from birth. Sometimes it's inflicted for a reason that that maybe, like, just like Bethany Hamilton, that the person I'm talking about in my thing. So this is why I come on as well. So because obviously you do a first draft with the heart, and then that's how you do the second draft with your mind, right? So I think it's good that I come in sometimes to YouTube to do presentation preparation, because the thing is, you know the first draft, like if you're doing a presentation and you're just doing the presentation for the first time, which I didn't do with my sermon, by the way, the one that I effed. But hey, sometimes the F is if God's will as well. Let me tell you a little something about the F's. When you F in something, you tend to pay attention because you effed it up. Part of the French, also an F word, as my friend Will says. Pardon the French. And also, my room is it kind of got over the years a bit effed up. But I realized that I just don't have space. And also, my friend had told me, why don't you just get public storage? Well, the thing is, Mom would rather me just throw in the towel, throw away all my stuff, my precious stuff that I need, such as my car repair tools, rather than let me put it in public storage. You see the difference in attitude. Between the attitude of success and the attitude of failure is that giving up versus not giving up. This is very very essential, very essential. Because the thing is, ultimately, no matter what happens in life, if you give up on yourself, even God can't help you. Yeah. Just like what's that called? The parable of the drowning man or whatever it's called. I was like, it's like the man didn't want to help himself. He's like, only God can help me. Like he's like, and then God's like, I sent you the rescue helicopter when you're drowning, and the sea patrol and all that, but you were not willing to accept. You were not able to put yourself out there to be rescued. So don't say that I didn't help you. That's like, the thing is, you were just like, you were just a bit stubborn hearted. Lisa Hoya knows a little something about this. To put it mildly. you know Even with this building that we live in, it's subsidized through like a organization. It's the reason why she can afford rent in there. But anyways, but still, still has in her mind that she's the lord of the universe. But our minds think different things. This is a Justin Bodum paraphrase. Matt wants to be my roommate forever, but we want different things. Ironically, I don't know if Justin is married, but I do know Matt is. But anyways, I'm just saying, my mom, who thinks she's the lord of the universe, or at least the lord of her universe, and me, who has different beliefs. If you see my blog, we believe different things. So yeah, I don't want to drag out and have too much digression. I'm just getting things ready here. Because it's like I realized that every time I clean my room during COVID, it's always the same theme. I always try to arrange it so that I'm not stuck here for the rest of my life. However, there's no execution. Because God had not given me away yet. So, just like Don Shui was saying recently, maybe you try to develop your own independence, but what you need to do is you need to cling to the person who can give you the independence. Jesus. Just like I said in my last video, if anybody is, but it looks like nobody has really seen it yet. But so anyway, it's Jesus. Jesus. So maybe I won't drag it out too long. I'll just get straight to the Bethany Hamilton inspiration, and then I'll just get on with my day, because I don't think mom is gonna cook lunch yet. I'm gonna grab some more sustenance, as my friend used to call it. I need sustenance. Her name also starts with K, but she's somebody that I know from Canada, not from elsewhere. Okay, so the Bethany Hamilton story. Why I find it so inspirational is also because of my own disability. Has some relationships to her. Is that sometimes the disability is not always, present from the beginning, but it got brought on to you by different circumstances in life, such as hers. She started off, with but I think what I realized is why I was so in despair about what happened, and why I felt like my life was ending, is because I just didn't put away the toxic mindset. What it is, I put too much faith into something or a relationship, such as my mother. This is at least a whole thing. This is a nurture thing, actually. Not necessarily a human nature, but a nurture. So then I realized, I gotta drop that mentality. You must drop this mentality. Something that they had told me at Tyndale as well. But the thing is, at the time, I wasn't mature enough, spiritually and physically. But now it's still hard to drop it, because she always, she knows exactly how to get in my head. Devil's advocate, like I said in my YouTube post. Devil's advocate. That's what she is. Because the thing is, when something is causing you psychological damage, as well as like causing you to not be able to do anything in life, not just ministry. We're not just talking ministry. I talk about to the point that maybe it is life threatening. It is not of God, not of God. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I just had to make a strong declaration. So anyways, to wrap up the Bethany Hamilton thing, You know, I think that my disability was also brought upon me because of this unhealthy, toxic nurturing, as well as unhealthy theology. It's just because she think, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She tried to assert herself as God and also assert herself as my God. No good. No good. So that's how I become disabled. But how Bethany become disabled is that, maybe, like, God just wanted to give her, but in the same way, it's like a thorn in the flesh, as Paul says, that, because of the fact that, God wanted her to, to also rely on her more. So same thing with my depression and other things that happened to me, like whatever psychological dependency I have now on antipsychotics, I think is also because of God wanted to just strengthen me in my faith to, just like, what, Kevin, you are not everything. You learn this mentality from who, Lisa Ho. That's why she chooses a name. That's why I give it to her. I let her have it. That much I let her have, because that's her legal right. Just like I have a legal right to my own identity and passport and stuff like that. So, that's her legal right. My legal rights are hers, and that's her legal right. My legal right is my legal right. But I'm just saying the reason why I call her Lisa Hoyan is because that's her married name. Everybody can naturally gets hyphenated when you get married. So, and hopefully one day I will also get hyphenated. but until then, just checking in to let everybody know that I'm all right, and and the Bethany Hampton story, like I said, the inspiration is that, she obviously, I'm not gonna have this much time when I do my presentation for class, but I'll try to keep it within 15, 20 minutes. Is that, she also had disability brought upon her, just like Paul says that, in 1 Corinthians 12, I had a thorn in my flesh. I think that's the right passage, because I did see it the other day. So yeah, thorn in the flesh. Maybe not 1 Corinthians then. 2 Corinthians. Anyways, thorn in the flesh. This is if you need to look it up. This is how God works sometimes. You look it up at the time that you need it. So maybe I will have to look it up at the time I'm doing my actual presentation. This is just first draft. So that's why I'm going live to speak from the heart. This is like a concept from the Finding Forrester movie, that the first video is done with the heart, the second video is done with your mind, kind of thing. It's a paraphrase of when he says to his his I guess you could say his disciple or protege, that you need to write the first draft of your heart and the second draft of your mind. I actually try to tell my fellow Tyndall students this as well. You shouldn't try to write your paper and slow yourself down by making sure that you don't have to edit it later. What you should do is just write, because at least that will expose to you exactly what's going on and what you're thinking before you do the editing. Because the thing is, it's part of the learning process. I mean, nobody. You should not expect perfection. That's part of the learning process too. You might make some typos. Sometimes typos are inspired by God, and sometimes they're just typos. But for me, it can be both. So what I'm saying is, sometimes my typos are inspired by God, and sometimes they're just typos. So what I'm saying is that, if you submit yourself to God and you offer your life as a living sacrifice, like Romans 12, which my church has been talking about recently, is that, uh, God is going to lead you whatever way He leads you. For Bethany and for myself, we happen to experience disability. But what I'm saying is that, that does not necessarily change the fact that, that Bethany was not meant to be a surfer. She just had to, press harder. She had a bit of a disadvantage at first, and she had to adapt. You know, so like myself. Maybe I didn't finish seminary the way I had in mind. Maybe I also did not, my mental health did not go the way I had hoped, but still, you know, perseverance, pressing, you run in the race, you run the race as a way to get the prize, not to lose it. So I'm almost there. Almost there. So that's what I talk about, from the heart. And then, almost at 50 minutes. So it's a good time to end stream and get back to work. Love you guys. Oh, and and you as well.